Chalo bachcho, welcome back. I know, exams are just around the corner and the tension is building up. But don't you worry, today we are going to do a full chapter revision of conic sections, and I promise you we are going to make it so simple. No stress.
Array, when your bhaiya is here, why fear? Okay, before we jump in, if this helps you even a little bit, please hit that subscribe button. And tell me in the comments which chapter is giving you trouble next. Your feedback means a lot. Alright, ready to start? Let's do this.
So this chapter with all these complicated names, circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola, it sounds a bit scary, right? But what if I told you all these shapes, every single one of them, comes from just one simple object? It's like magic. And that object is a cone.
Just look at this. Imagine you have two birthday party hats, joined at the pointy tip, or maybe two Mandy cones. Now, if you take a flat knife, in maths we call it a plane, and you slice this cone, you get our four shapes. Slice it perfectly straight horizontally, you get a circle. Slice it at a little angle, you get an ellipse. Slice it parallel to the side of the cone, you get a parabola. And if you slice it straight down, cutting through both cones, you get a hyperbola. See? One cone, four amazing shapes. Simple.
Okay, so let's start with our best friend, the most familiar shape of them all, the circle. I promise you, this one is ekdam simple hai. So what even is a circle? It's just a bunch of points, all of which are at the exact same distance from one single fixed point in the middle. That fixed point is the center, which we call HK, and that fixed distance is the radius, R. And the equation, well, it's right there for you. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Bam! That's all you need to remember. Okay, time for a typical exam question. You get this long equation and have to find the center and radius. Don't panic. Step 1. Bring the x terms together and the y terms together. Now we do something called completing the square. For x squared plus 8x, you add 16. For y squared plus 10y, you add 25. And whatever you add to the left, you have to add to the right side also. So the right becomes 8 plus 16 plus 25, which is 49. Now our equation is x plus 4 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 49. But wait, here's the trap. The center is not 4, 5. No, it is -4, -5, because our formula has a minus sign. And the radius isn't 49. It's the square root of 49, which is 7. Please be careful with those signs.
Next up is the parabola. And trust me, you see the shape all the time. You know when a batsman hits a cricket ball for a huge six, that beautiful arc the ball makes in the air? That's a perfect parabola.
So what is a parabola mathematically? It's actually a game of distances. Imagine one fixed point, we call it the focus, and one fixed line, we call it the directrix. A parabola is just the collection of all the points that are at an equal distance from the focus and the directrix. For any point you pick on that curve, its distance to the focus is exactly the same as its distance to that line. That's the main rule. Okay, let's solve a quick problem. Find the focus and directrix for y squared equal to 8x. Super easy. The standard equation is y squared equal to 4ax. Now, just compare them. What do you see? 4a must be equal to 8. So what is a? Simple. a equals 2. The focus is always at a, 0, so it's 2, 0. And the directrix is the line x equals -a, so it's x equals -2. See? You can solve this in like 10 seconds. All right, let's move on to our third shape, the ellipse. Don't let the fancy name scare you. An ellipse is just a stretched circle, or a squashed one. Like the shape of an egg. It's actually a very simple and beautiful curve. Now, a circle has one center, right? But an ellipse has two special points inside it called foci, F1 and F2. And the definition is also very simple. If you take any point on the ellipse, the sum of its distances from the two foci is always the same. It's a constant. And the equation is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. See that big plus sign? That's your clue. Remember that. Okay, time to practice. For x squared over 25 plus y squared over 9 equals 1, how do we know if it's stretched along the x-axis or y-axis? Here's a trick. Just look for the bigger number at the bottom. Here, 25 is bigger than 9, and it's under the x squared. So the main axis is the x-axis. That means a squared is 25, so a is 5, and b squared is 9, so b is 3. Now, to find the foci, we need to find c. And the relation is c squared equals a squared minus b squared. So c squared is 25 minus 9, which is 16. That means c equals 4. The foci are at plus or minus c, 0, so plus or minus 4, 0. And the vertices are at plus or minus a, 0, so plus or minus 5, 0. You did it!
And finally, our last shape is the hyperbola. This one looks a little bit strange, I know, kind of like two parabolas that are angry at each other and facing away, but the easiest way to remember it is to think of it as the opposite of an ellipse.
Remember how for the ellipse, the sum of the distances to the foci was constant? Well, guess what? For a hyperbola, it's the difference of the distances that is constant. That is the one key change. And look at the equation. X squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1. It has a minus sign. That's your big signal. And this slide makes it crystal clear. This is the golden rule, okay? For an ellipse, you think sum of distances, and you see a plus sign in the equation. For hyperbola, you think difference in distances, and you see a minus sign. If you remember just this one thing, you will avoid the most common mistake in the exam hall. Let's solve one hyperbola problem then. We have x squared over 9 minus y squared over 16 equals 1. So a squared is 9, which means a equals 3, and b squared is 16, so b equals 4. Now, be very, very careful. The formula to find c for hyperbola is different. It is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. It's the opposite of the sign in the equation. So c squared equals 9 plus 16 equals 25, which means c equals 5. The foci are at plus or minus 5, 0, and the vertices are at plus or minus 3, 0. And you're done.
All right, everyone, we've done it. We have covered all 4 shapes. Now for the final revision. I want you to get your phones ready, okay? Because this next slide, this is the ultimate screenshot you need for your last-minute revision. Here it is, everything you need on one screen. For circle, remember x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. For parabola, it's y squared equals 4ax. For ellipse, it's x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1, and the key relationship is c squared equals a squared minus b squared. And for hyperbola, x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 1, and the key relationship is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Just learn this one table, and you're totally sorted for your exam.
And that is it. See, I told you it was simple. The entire chapter revised in just a few minutes. You are fully prepared. Have confidence in yourself, bilkul stress nahi lena, and just go and rock your exam. All the very best from my side, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.